Welcome to Midnight Screams. I had been feeling overwhelmed, burnt out by the constant noise of city life, so I decided to take a short solo getaway. Nothing fancy, just a few days of peace and quiet. I opened up Airbnb, zoomed out on the map, and picked a random little town about 6 hours away. No reason, really. It was cheap, isolated, and surrounded by forest. Exactly what I needed. The listing was a cabin. Old, a little run-down looking, but cozy enough. And the price? Way too good to pass up. I should have known something was off just from that alone. The drive there was long, winding through empty roads and dense trees. Not a single house for miles. When I finally reached the place, it was dead silent. The cabin sat alone, buried deep within a patch of woods. No neighbors, no street lights, nothing but trees and shadows. I got inside, unpacked, and decided to run into town to grab groceries for the next few days. It was late afternoon, but the town was lifeless. No traffic, barely any people, and the ones I did see, they stared, cold eyes, unmoving. It wasn't just awkward, it was unsettling, like they knew I didn't belong there. Still, I shrugged it off. I told myself I was just being paranoid. I mean, I'm a city guy. Small towns are bound to feel different, right? Back at the cabin, I settled in for the night. It was peaceful at first, quiet, relaxing, the kind of silence you don't get in the city. The next day was just as calm. I even thought I might extend the trip. But then came the storm. That night, heavy rain hammered the roof. Thunder shook the walls. I was lying on the couch, half asleep, when, knock. Just one, at the front door. I sat up instantly. Who the hell would be outside in the middle of a storm like this? I checked my phone. No messages from the host. I waited, heart pounding. No second knock. After a few moments, I walked up to the door and peered through the peephole. Nothing. Just darkness. I told myself it had to be the wind or a branch. Or maybe I dreamt it. I wanted to believe that. I lay back down, trying to ignore the tension clawing at my spine. Maybe an hour passed. The storm raged on, and I was zoning out to the quiet hum of the TV when... cough. A single muffled cough, just behind me. My blood froze. I spun around. Through the window, something shifted. A blur. A figure. I couldn't make out what it was, but I knew. Someone was watching me, from just outside. I grabbed my phone and called 911, whispering to the dispatcher that someone was outside the cabin, possibly stalking me. My voice was shaking. The storm was too loud for me to hear if they were moving around. To my surprise, a police cruiser pulled in just 3 minutes later. But the officer, he was cold, indifferent. When I explained what happened, he just shrugged and said, "That's it?" No questions. No notes. He didn't even bother to check the property. It was like he didn't care, or didn't want to care. And the way he looked at me, just like the others in town, cold, almost angry, as if I'd bothered him by asking for help. Before I could say another word, he got in his car and drove off into the rain. I locked the door behind him and stood there, stunned. Something was wrong with this town, with these people. I didn't feel safe, not even a little. I decided to leave, right then and there. I tossed open my backpack and started packing. Maybe 60 seconds had passed when, bang, 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 heavy knocks, aggressive, desperate. The door shook with each hit. Whoever it was hadn't left. They were still out there. But this time, they weren't being quiet about it. I looked out the bedroom window. The cop car was long gone. I was completely alone. My hands trembled as I stuffed what I could into my bag. Clothes, charger, keys. I thought about calling 911 again, but something told me it wouldn't help. The officer wouldn't believe me, or worse, maybe he was part of it. And then, silence. The banging stopped. I held my breath. Waited. Nothing. I crept to the front door and peeked through the peephole. Still nothing. No one in sight. But I didn't trust it. Something felt off. I stood frozen for maybe a full minute, and that's when I saw it again. Movement. Outside the same window. They were still watching me. I knew this was my only chance. I flung the door open and bolted into the storm. Rain hit me like bullets. My heart was racing. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I just ran to the car, jumped in, and started the engine. I peeled out of the driveway, barely able to see through the downpour. Every shadow on the road felt like it could be them. They could have been chasing me. Hell, they could have been right next to the car, and I wouldn't have seen them. I didn't stop. Not for gas, not for food, nothing. I didn't breathe easy until I was halfway home. Even now, I have no idea who that person was, or what they wanted. But I keep thinking about the town, the way everyone looked at me, like I wasn't welcome. Like I was being watched from the moment I arrived. Maybe it was a cult. Maybe they all knew about that cabin. Maybe they wanted to scare me off. Or worse. All I know is, if I'd stayed one more night, I might not be here to tell you this.